So welcome to Smooth Sailing Conversations. I am Shaniqua Dupree, and today's guest is Ashley Reynolds. She's going to be talking to us about just transitioning through the military, out of the military. So Ashley, can you share with us your military background?
So my military background is I am a corpsman. I will be separating at 10 years, hitting my HYT. My fellow corpsmen know it's hard out here for us to be picking up rank. So I pipelined, went straight through core school into surge tech school, and then subspecialized in urology tech school, and met my husband there. We were stationed in Northern Virginia, the DC area, Fort Belvoir, if anyone knows that hospital. We were there for 4 years. And then this is my second hospital that I'm at right now. We are in San Diego working at Balboa, newly Navy Medical Research Training Center, I think.
Oh, they changed the name of it?
Yeah. So we are NMRTC San Diego now. And yeah, that's basically my background.
Okay, so I'm so glad that you mentioned how there is a struggle being an HM in the Navy, because I get emails all the time where people are like, hey, I really want to join the Navy, but I want to make sure that I'm a nurse. And so I want to be a corpsman. And then I want to, share with them the realities of trying to get in the Navy, trying to be a corpsman. But to be honest, it's just so much. So I really hope that you can express the difficulties or the challenges or even some benefits of trying to go for it, so that they can really, really understand. So my next question is, what do you think transitioning military members should know?
To start your transition as soon as possible. A lot of people make the mistake of waiting until like the last 2-3 months, and you are going to be so beyond stressed if you put it off. I started my separation stuff last July. So like my TAPS classes, applying for jobs, I started like 7. I started 7 months ago applying for jobs, because no one wants to get out of the military and not have an income. That's just not realistic, and you're not setting yourself up for success if you do that.
Right.
And those are all things that you need to be thinking of that far out, or else when you get to where I am right now, I think I have 20 days till I start terminal. So I'm literally just waiting for my separation orders to be cut. That's it. Everything else is done. I'm showing up to work so I don't get fined. And yeah, so as soon as you even have an inkling of separating being a possibility is when you need to start checking off all the boxes of the things that you need to get done, because the Navy really helped you get in, but they are not going to help you get out.
I'm so glad you said that. That is so true. They'll give you a TAPS class and they'll try and give you as much as they know how, but they're not going to give you what you really need to know. That is good stuff. Dang, I had a question. So you said start as early as possible. For me, I like to tell people, well, no, you mentioned it. You said as soon as you have an inkling that you could possibly get out. So that doesn't even mean, right? Like, that doesn't mean like once you hit your PRD or you're closer to your EAOS, it means like before, to be honest, you're 12 months into your career. And they're going to start asking you, what are you going to start doing next? Because, PRD is coming up. You need to make sure that, you know what you're going to do. So when they start asking those questions, that is essentially when you need to start thinking about, hey, what am I going to do next? And so why did you decide to leave instead of stay? Well, you said HYT, right?
So I didn't really decide. The Navy kind of decided it for me. And it was some leadership, because there's going to be issues with leadership no matter where you go, right? You win some, you lose some. I've had some great leaders. I've had some not so great leaders. And I have a really great one now. I wish I had picked up second, because the leadership I have now is incredible. And about 11 months ago, they were like, well, we want to get you promoted. I'm like, no, like I'm 13 months out from my HYT. I'm like, I've already in my brain decided that I'm shifting into that gear. And I'm not about to divide myself into trying to pick up and also trying to get out at the same time. Right. So I'm very protective of my energy. But Navy, they want to retain people. So they were like, come on, we can map you, we can map you. I'm like, I'm literally not going to do anything that would help you to map me. So if you are really trying to stay in and you happen to get good leadership that can map you, by all means, there's literally a roadmap. Everyone can look up how to get mapped. It's not difficult.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, it's just difficult social life wise, is how I like to put it. It's one of those things where it's like if you're trying to get your master's degree, it's to that level of dedication. Like you're not going to be going out, you're not going to be doing anything that's for yourself. You're going to be ultimately pushing for that goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I got good leadership. They're like, we'll map you. I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm getting out, and just went head straight down that path. And then also I started putting myself into what I was passionate about, which has honestly never been medical. How I became a corpsman was just by sheer chance, because I wanted to be a mass communication specialist, an MC, which is sadly a dying rate. And it wasn't available at the time. And they just make it sound so easy to change your jobs, which if you're in the Navy right now, you know, it is not easy to change your job. I've had my request denied. I think I stopped it 5 times. 5 times. And I realized that if I wanted to do what I was really passionate about, what I enjoyed, it wasn't going to be in the military.
Hi guys, before we jump into the rest of this video, I would like to share with you all that I do have a book that I published this past February called I Am Profitable, a guide to discovering how you can turn your experiences into multiple income streams. You can find it on Amazon in paperback or Kindle. Now back to the show.
I had on Erin Shankin, GM1. She's down in Florida, and she was talking about how she cross-rated, and she was basically saying how it wasn't easy and how she was very lucky to get through the process and actually switch over from IT to GM. Mm-hmm. And it was actually not, it wasn't easy. Also, she did some things that the Navy really frowns upon, such as emailing a certain person, or I think she said she emailed the EDM when it's not usually the sailor, it's the career counselor. So the EDM was like, why are you emailing me? And so, but the point here is like, you really do got to push for what you want. And if you can't, if they're not giving you what you want and you're doing everything you can, I mean, you have to start thinking about the next step, right?
Yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you said that you wanted to be an MC. That's so funny because me too. I don't know. It just seems so fun. But of course, I couldn't cross-rate either. And now you're getting out to do what?
So my stable job is a surge tech. So I actually got hired on at a hospital in Chattanooga. So we're literally moving there at the end of June. Mm-hmm. And simultaneously, I got hired on to a social media management agency, which is what I'm passionate about. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting getting into that part-time, but ultimately I want to have my own agency, mm-hmm. so I can have my own clients that I want to work with.
Yeah, for sure. And the social media agency, is that in Chattanooga as well?
No, it's based like all over the US.
So it's like you can do it virtually?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so my next question is, what's the hardest thing you've had to face while serving, and how did you overcome?
I would say family work-life balance, because I am a mom. I've had 3 children. I have my 2 boys right now. And it was just having kids really puts things into perspective. And that's when I kind of made a shift from not doing as much like command level type things, which help get you promoted, obviously. But I knew that I didn't want to miss out on memories with my children. So that was like a hard thing to overcome, because you have everyone in your chain of command that's like, you need to be out here doing this. You need to be filling these wickets. You need to be the best sailor. And I'm like, I'd rather be the best mom. Like, and people make jokes, well, the Navy didn't issue you kids. And I'm like, you're right, they didn't, but I have them and I love them. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be there for them.
Yeah. And that's
being okay with people having, like, people feel some type of way about it, right? And at first, when like you're a new parent, you're kind of wanting to please your chain of command, but it's taking away from what feels good in your heart, and just becoming okay with choosing yourself and your family over the Navy.
Yeah, for sure. That's a struggle for a lot of us. That's actually why I left the military the first time. So I joined the Navy in 2010. Then I left in 2017. January was the end of my orders or my contract. And I had to make a decision to be with my son and be a mom, raise my kid, or do whatever the Navy wants me to do. Like I literally missed I missed his first steps, I think I saw his first two teeth, but him like even crawling, like he was 8 months old when he had to go stay with his grandparents. And I was stationed over in San Diego while he was over in North Carolina. And that hurt my heart so much that I couldn't take care of my baby. He couldn't be there with me. I tried everything. I tried to hire a nanny to come and live with me so she can take care of him while I was underway. And it was best for him to just go ahead and be with his grandparents because of my career. And so that is definitely like a big struggle. And I hope that people hear this and understand that there are some sacrifices, because the people who watch my content, my videos, are people who are thinking about joining the military, people who are transitioning. That's a large part of my platform. And they need to know the real. But I was actually going to leave in 2013, 14 when he was actually born. But I was like, okay, if I leave, then what am I going to do? Where am I going to work at?
Yep.
So it's like you're conflicted. You stay, you go, you starve, you eat. Like, which one is it going to be?
Which is why making sure you have a job lined up afterwards is so important.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because you just reminded me that I was not prepared in 2013, 14 to leave the Navy. Like it was either you starve or you stay. Like, and so what are some tips that you can give to help people to ensure that they are planning right? Because I literally just got an email. This young lady, she's stationed overseas with a child, and she's going to be moving back to the US, getting out of the Navy. And she says she's super stressed out. She doesn't know like really what to do. And she asked me for some tips. And so can you share some tips with people who are leaving the Navy, things that they absolutely need to know?
Take your TAPS classes and take them twice. Take them 3 times if you need to. Build a resume. And I used LinkedIn and I used Indeed. And you just start searching for the jobs that you qualify for. Try to get as many things that will convert to civilian as possible. I know with some of our rates, it's kind of difficult to find things that transfer over. But a lot of times people will see military experience and you can get hired in a lot of general jobs, but in a managerial role because of that. So literally take your TAPS classes, soak up as much information as you can, because they are not thorough. So make sure like you're getting the slides so you can like really read through everything and all of the benefits that you get as you get out. Something for people that haven't joined yet and are thinking about joining with the possibility of getting out, because the Navy's not forever.
Right.
Document all of your ailments when you get in, please. This is coming from a corpsman. For the love of God, document everything that's wrong with you, because it'll make your VA claim so much easier and so much smoother, and you'll get so much more out of what the Navy's gotten out of you. That's a little sidebar on that. But I don't know how far out she is from coming here, but she needs to be job searching already, sending out resumes, doing interviews. Even whenever you get one interview, keep applying for more interviews, because one interview does not equal a job.
Yeah. So can you talk about the pay? Because I feel like that is a big thing that people are going to miss for the military, the pay, the benefits, and how to find an equivalent, I want to say equivalent pay or even benefits out in the civilian side. So for the Navy, we have BAH, we have BAS, We have our regular base pay. Some of us have COLA, C duty pay, all of these different things. Like, should they focus on the individualized, how do you say it? Like pay entitlements, or should they try and find a salary based, or should they try and do the multiplication, the math, to put it down to hourly? You know what I'm saying?
So the job that I got is an hourly job, and how I calculated what my pay request is, because you can negotiate your pay. Don't forget that whenever you're getting a job, never take the first offer, even if it's like a good offer. They're giving you an offer, so they're not going to take it away from you. So always be like, well, what about this much? And if they say no, you're like, okay, that's fine. I'll take this one then. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you never know unless you ask for more. So it really is depending. I like hourly because I'm getting paid for my time that I'm there. I feel like the military was a very salary-based job, and I got taken advantage of in that sense.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I can understand that.
I'm not saying don't take a salary job, but I'm also saying make sure that you're getting paid well enough for your time, because the military does not do that. Even with all the benefits included, they do not appreciate your time. Mm-hmm. I did take into account my benefits when I was doing my pay negotiations, because I have a family. BAH is covering our rent, right? So I averaged my salary to be about $60,000 a year here in California. And they have this handy dandy tool called a cost of living calculator. It was a tool that was given to us through TAPS. You can literally Google it though. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I was the job that I had gotten offered in Chattanooga, I was like, okay, what would I need to make to maintain the lifestyle I have here in California annually? So if I'm doing $60,000 here in California, that actually equated to $39,000 where I'm moving to in Chattanooga. So I was like, okay, I only need to make like $40,000 a year and I'll be fine. And I will actually be making like $44,000 a year. Mm-hmm. So I'll be technically better off there. So I would say whenever you're looking for a job, definitely add in your monetary benefits that you're getting, because those are helping to pay your bills. Yeah. And you're going to want to still be able to pay your bills.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. So my next question is, do you have any final points that you want to share about your experience in the military?
I will definitely say the military is going to be what you make of it. And while you're in, the military is using you, so you need to use the military. And even as you get out, remember, the military took a lot of sacrifices from you, mm-hmm. and you still deserve all of those benefits that you're going to get. So don't sleep on them. Take advantage of every single one, because if you don't, it's no sweat to them. Yeah. The money's still on the table. You're just leaving it there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So did you file for your VA claim yet?
So I procrastinated and I missed the deadline for BDD, which is like the pre-file. So you start getting paid right as you separate. Mm-hmm. And I didn't upload my medical record. So that was very naughty of me. Don't do that. Make sure that you don't procrastinate like me, because now it's going to be probably like 5 to 6 months after I separate before I start getting a disability payment. Mm-hmm. But yeah, all of my stuff is uploaded. I just missed the deadline. So now they're not going to process it till I separate.
Yeah. Well, you're better than me. I never did do it. And, it's crazy because a part of me like preaches, do your VA stuff, because I started this channel as a Navy Reserve benefit advisor, specifically talking to active duty personnel looking to leave active duty and go reserves. Mm-hmm. I talked to them about the benefits and all this stuff and get your VA done, get your VA claim done. But then I never did it. And it's for real. Like, and I know a lot of people who are transitioning through the military. It's like one of our least concerns, because it's like, well, it's just another thing to do. But then when you think about it, you're literally preparing yourself to get paid for the rest of your life. Like, why are we procrastinating? It literally makes no sense. And then we can use the income to help us with our living.
And then you can use your GI Bill too.
Yes. Are you going to be going to school too?
Yes, I'll
Yeah.
be going to the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully in like 6 years from now, I'll be Dr. Reynolds, a doctor of
Okay.
education. So we'll
Okay.
go ahead and manifest that for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, for sure. Is your husband in the military as well?
He's prior service. So we did
Okay.
meet in the military.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have a cute little whirlwind love story. We met in San Antonio during our schooling.
Mm-hmm.
I was in my first C school as he was going into his C school as a lab tech. And we started dated for 6 months, got married so we can get stationed together. And now here we are 8.5 years later, 3 children, beautiful life. He's been a stay-at-home dad now for like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He has 1 year left of being a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
He's very excited to close that door. He's tired of being stuck home with the children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's just waiting for our youngest to be of school age.
So we spoke about having a family in the military. Did you have children? I'm sorry. Were you guys on active duty with children together?
Yes, we had our first child while we were both on active duty.
Okay, so can we talk about that? Because some people want to get married, or they might watch and then later on they get married or whatever, but they don't quite know how it works when duty comes into play. Like who's going to watch the kids, daycare or whatever. So how did that work out?
So my husband actually worked night shift for 13 months straight because we did not want to put our first child in daycare.
Wow.
So our first child did not go into daycare until he was a year old. Mm-hmm. And it was because, he turned a year old in April of 2017, and my husband separated September of 2017. So they moved my husband back to day shift so he could start working on his separation stuff. Mm-hmm. But for 13 months, he was on night shift.
Okay, so you would watch the kids. So who's watching the kids during the day? Him?
Yep.
So he basically has 2 jobs. Dang. Okay, committed. Go dad. That's cool. Mm-hmm.
He was very passionate about it. I was like, listen, I don't want you to like kill yourself. I was like, if you had to put him in daycare, let's put him in daycare. And he's like, I really don't want to put him in daycare. So he worked it out with his chain of command that nobody wanted to work this night shift. So he just worked it for 13 months straight. Mm-hmm. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. Wow. That is awesome. So you guys were both on shore duty?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been very blessed because I am so specialized that I've only ever been at a hospital.
Okay. And him too?
Well, yeah, he was only at one command. That's a lot.
Oh, just one. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. And so did you decide that Chattanooga would be the best place for you because of cost of living, because of employment? Why did you choose Chattanooga?
So I am a very unique situation because I do not have familial ties anywhere because I've lost both of my parents. So I was very much, I could go anywhere. And my husband's family is here in California, but he did not want to stay in California. Mm-hmm. So I literally Googled most beautiful places in the United States. Mm-hmm. And I applied to about 20 different places. I heard back from 15, had 15 interviews and 15 offers, which is solely based off my experience because I am in a highly recognized field. Mm-hmm. And I have 10 years of experience in it. So that is not normal results for people. People usually do not get that many interviews and offers. Mm-hmm. And the hospital in Tennessee really wanted me. They flew me out there for 4 days, paid for my plane ticket, my hotel, my food, my car rental, everything while I was out there, and had not even offered me the job yet.
Wow.
And so my 2 serious offers were there, and then this little place in Idaho called Coeur d'Alene, mm-hmm. which was also beautiful. Those were like the 2 most beautiful places that I applied jobs to. And so I get out there to Tennessee, and I'm in San Diego, right? So it's like a nice 68, 70 degrees all the time, mm-hmm. beautiful weather. And it is 30 degrees. I woke up in the morning, there was ice on my windshield. I was like, this is cold. And then my best friend who separated at the beginning of the year, she lives in Idaho. She's from Sandpoint, and that's where she went back to. And I call her up. I'm like, girl, it is cold here in Tennessee. And she starts laughing. She's like, how cold is it? And I was like, it's 30 degrees. And she chuckles and she goes, it's 7 degrees here right now. It's a warm day
Wow.
in Idaho. I said, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be going to Idaho.
Yeah.
So that's how we ended up going with Chattanooga, because they showed that they really cared about me and wanted me to work there, and they offered me really good pay.
You know, I want to say that you have such a great outlook on the transition, because you don't take stuff from nobody. It seems like you know what you want and you're going to go for it, right? And it's crazy because in the military we're told what to do, right? We don't have the leisure to not take stuff from anybody, but you have that, and you take it to the civilian world as well. You know exactly, where you want to work, what makes sense to you. You're setting up the life that you want. You're not cowering back because, the military shuts us down and say, hey, you need to listen and stop talking so much. Do what I say and go and live a good life or whatever. And I just want to commend you for that, because I was one of those people who was kind of timid in regards to transitioning. But I came in, or I left, came back, left, came back, left. And now I'm just like, you know what? Let me help somebody else, because I've done so much. Help somebody else to be encouraged. But I just want to say thank you for that. And so before we get off, my last question is, what is a fun fact about your specific experience in the military?
I would say a fun fact about my specific experience is so at Fort Belvoir, it's smaller, like Navy community, right? So their JEA actually includes second class and below.
Mm-hmm.
So little HM Reynolds at the time campaigned to be president of the JEA there,
Mm-hmm.
and won.
Oh, well, congratulations.
I was
Yes.
the first and last E3 president of the JEA, because I picked up third class, and then the person that got president after me changed the bylaws to only E5s could be.
Wow.
But I still have, to this day, people from that JEA contacting me, because I went down in JEA history as being the most efficient and successful president of the JEA there. I raised the most money. We had the biggest footprint while I was there. So I still have them reaching out to me.
That is awesome. And then that what you learned is definitely translating to your other, you just got it all going on. That is super cool. That is super, super cool. But yes,
I've always been me since day one, I think is what it is. I've never grown up taking anything from anyone. So even in the military, at boot camp, they're breaking you down. They're do push-ups, and you're I'm gonna do these push-ups, but I think it's stupid. Or once I got to my first command, they're go do this and this. I was I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna complain about it. I'm gonna ask why I'm doing this. I'm gonna still do it because I ain't trying to get in trouble.
Right.
But I'm gonna ask questions.
Yeah, that is so cool. A lot of people who are what the military will call rebels, they're also the ones who have the most impact. They're the ones who have the greatest innovation, and who could really benefit by supporting, whatever the command has going on, or other sailors as well. So you're definitely doing great. And I know the civilian life will treat you kindly, because you will go after what it is that you want. And thank you so much for being on here, sharing your experiences, and